am. Hold on, Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Checking connection. You're now live. There I am. I really need a better setup, but this is like a last minute. I just felt like doing this. Don't you start talking now. I've got dogs here. I've got my two boys here. Boy number 1 and boy number 2, who's just the cutest little black lab you ever did see. Don't you go hacking for me. Sorry. Hairball. I don't know why. Can't imagine why. So hello, good evening. Welcome to Bedtime Stories. Even if you've missed out, tonight's a really good chapter. It's chapter 14 in Freak the Mighty by Rodman Philbrick. And these two boys have forged a really amazing friendship. So like the best way to relate to these two and connect is to think of who are you buddies with in like 8th grade, middle school, right? Who are the kids that you laughed with the most, the people that you spent the most time with, and then go back to that age, and that's how old these boys are. So chapter 14 is called Cross My Heart and Hope to Die. And if you remember in the last chapter, Freak had some kind of accident when he ate the chop suey, and it seemed like an allergic reaction because he was home, or he was breathing by the time they got him in the ambulance. But we don't really know what happened to Freak. We just know that he couldn't breathe and he got taken out of school in an ambulance. And now the next chapter is called Cross My Heart and Hope to Die. So those are things we said when we were little, like when we were making promises that we would keep things secret. So do you have any secrets? Right? And then like in my house, if we have a secret that we have to keep to ourselves, because we don't really like secrets. Secrets are kind of like to me, they're like a little bit of poison that you just sip slowly. And they erode your insides over time. That's my best way of describing secrets. But like if there's certain secrets that your family needs to keep for you, that your friends keep for you, and those kinds of conversations we call the vault, right? I got that from Brene Brown years ago. So, like when you start a tough conversation with someone, you kind of like have to let them know they're going into the vault, right? They're going into like the secret safe space that no one is supposed to judge anyone else. You're just supposed to listen. And it's like Vegas, right? Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like whatever goes into the vault stays in the vault, like lock and key, throw away the key, right? I'm like the vault keeper for many people. People love to spill their secrets for me. I don't know why, but they do. It's been that way my whole life. Why are you talking back, buddy? Hush. Shh, shh, shh. I don't want to hear it. My dogs get involved when I'm reading. Don't know why. Hi, brothers. I see my boys on Instagram. What's up? And you know what? You guys are my childhood friends. I've known you guys since I was like 12 at least. I don't want to call you out. I don't know. Maybe you should be here. I don't know if you should be here. Hello. Say hello if you want to say hello. Welcome. So, my Twitch is always there. Twitch is so cool. If you don't know what Twitch is and you like gaming, you would love Twitch. So I'm going to read Cross My Heart and Hope to Die. And just so you know that this is the kind of chapter that like things are going to go and be said that you have to like really take some notes on in your brain. So are we ready? Graham lets me stay home the next day because Freak is getting out of the hospital, and I'm right on the front step when Fair Gwen pulls up in her car. Freak is riding in the back. You can barely see him in the window, and he's got this big grin that makes me feel like everything is going to be okay, the way everybody keeps saying. I go, is it okay if I carry him inside? The Fair Gwen says, of course. He has to rest, she says. He stays in the house until I say different. Is that understood? In his room, Freak is right away ordering me around. Bring me this and go do that, and you'd never guess he'd been sick. A minor incident, he says, easily corrected by biogenetic intervention. You mean that robot stuff? Freak goes, shh, the fair Gwen must not know of the plan. The very idea strikes fear into the heart. And I'm going to pause there for a second. Do you remember the chapter where Freak brought, Kevin is Freak, they brought Max all the way to this place where he called like the robotics, where they were going to give him a new robotic body, right? And so that's what's happening in Kevin/Freak's world. However, this last line on the page where Freak says, shh, the fair Gwen must not know of the plan. The very idea strikes fear into her heart. If you're going to get a full body replacement because your body isn't working, which is what's happening with Freak's body, would your mom know about it? And so this is the point where I try to get like people in class, students who are with me live. If I was in a classroom, I would be like, we can't just skip that line without noting, like, would your mom know about it? And so what happens on the next page is really listen to what Freak is saying and then see if you hear the whisper of what he's really trying to say. Okay? Well, it's pretty scary, I say, getting an operation to give you a whole new body. I'm not scared, Freak says. I'm looking forward to it. So when does it happen? Freak gets this faraway look and he says, I'm not sure. Dr. Spivak, she's my doctor. She says maybe a year or two. So if he's telling his best friend that the reason he went to the hospital the day before was because he needed some replacement parts and that he's getting new robot body, but don't tell his mom. And then his best friend says, well, when is this all happening? And he says, maybe a year or two, according to my doctor. Can you make any predictions about what's really going on in Freak's body? So, back to the book. But how come you need a new body, I ask? How come you just can't stay like you are? Freak shakes his head like he knows I'm not smart enough to understand. No one stays like they are, he says. Everybody is always changing. My problem is I'm growing on the inside, but not on the outside. With me. And we're going to school like always, and everything is going really cool until Christmas vacation, when you'll excuse the expression, all hell breaks loose. And we have a little page break here, which if you're struggling to read chapters and you get lost, maybe you don't realize that a big break like that means that it's a new setting, maybe a new character, maybe a new place, but it's a break from this action. And if you're reading and you don't understand that, you might go, what the heck is going on? I'm so confused. Don't be confused. When you see a big break, it's a pause. Just like in a movie when they pause and fade the scene out and then they go back and open a new scene. The only way to do that in a book is with a big pause, like a break, literally return, right? So now I'm in the down under trying to get this stupid wrapping paper to cover the stupid presents I got for Graham and Grim when this shouting starts upstairs. Understand, Grim never yells at Graham, not that I can ever remember. And Graham, well, the worst thing she ever does is cry when she's mad. I do that. I call it being a sentimental bitch. That's right. I can cry and be mean and mad all at the same time. I think most women can. Am I right? Hi, Roxy. So, but she doesn't even cry. The worst thing she ever does is cry when she's mad, but somebody sure is yelling up there. And so I sneak up the stairs and I don't even have to put my ear to the door. That's how loud it is. Over my dead body you will. That's right. Do you hear my dog? Macho, you're so awesome. That's Graham yelling, and her voice is big and full of tears. Grim's voice isn't nearly as loud, and I open the door a crack to hear whatever it is that's made Graham so mad at him. It's okay. It's okay. Everything is fine. Shh, 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 shh. Sit. You're fine. Everything is fine. I'm fine. Nothing to be upset over. It's just a book. Okay, there. Just a book. Shh. I have an obligation, he's saying. A man has to protect his family. Not with a gun, Graham yells. Not in this house. I won't have it. Oh, I can't stand it. How could they do this to us? How could they? He fooled them, Grim is saying, just like he fooled Annie. Just like he fooled us once upon a time. Never again, though. That man tries to set foot in this house, I aim to shoot him. Now remember, his dad is Killer Kane, and his dad is in jail, and his mom is dead. And if you put the pieces together, sounds like his dad killed his mom. And God forbid this has ever happened to you. I actually know many people that have shared their story of their loss with me where their family members have been murdered. I'm the English teacher for 27 years, high school. Like, we just get into deep conversations and they tell me their stuff. So this is a time in class where, we slow down and we start to talk about guns, right? And so this Graham is super mad that she won't have a gun in the house. And he's saying, but I have to do whatever I can to protect my family. You got to understand they both got great points of view, right? I can understand both of them. And like he fooled them, meaning the parole board probably, right? Just like he fooled Annie, just like he fooled us once upon a time. Never again, that if he tries to set foot in this house, I'll aim to shoot him. So like this is a serious conversation. Don't know if you've ever been around when two adults, when you're grown-ups in the house, are having a serious conversation, but like you can feel that, right? And no guns, Graham says. You don't know about guns. Of course I do. I was in the Army, wasn't I? That was 30 years ago. I don't know what will happen. Don't you think I've dreamt about it for the last 8 years? He'll come in here and he'll take that gun away from you, and then he'll do the shooting. By now I figured out who they're talking about, and I guess you have too. None other than him, Killer Kane, my father. Maybe they won't let him out. The only way I can keep this dog happy is to keep petting his belly. Otherwise, he's going to growl. You're not even supposed to be in here. The children just passed you off. Both of you. I have 2 cats and 2 dogs in here. Why? They just dropped them off conveniently when I need quiet. Shh. It's okay. You're a therapy dog. It's fine. You mean well. Okay, so I'm going to try and read while I rock the baby. No. I figure who they're talking about, Killer Kane, my father. Maybe they won't let him out, Graham is saying. If they do, they'll give us protection. Sure they will, Grim says, just like they protected our Annie. Next thing, Graham is crying, and you can tell Grim is trying to make her feel better, going, there, my dear, I know, there. A while later, I hear the cellar stairs creaking. It's Grim, and he knocks on my door. Come on in. Grim comes inside for once, and he doesn't tell me what a rat hole I'm living in or how it smells like a locker room because I forgot to put my socks in the hamper. He sits on the edge of the bed and folds his hands together. I never think about how old he is because he never acts old, but tonight he's all white and bent and his skin is saggy. He's about 1,000 years old, and he says, I guess you heard about the ruckus. 1,000 years old, that's hyperbole. Right? He looks about 1,000 years old. I guess you heard about the ruckus. Your grandma gets so upset, bless her heart. Can't abide by the ideal of violence. Can't say I blame her. Did he escape, I ask? Is that what happened? Grim shakes his head. He's up for parole. That's dumb. That's so dumb. Grim goes, you hit the nail on the head, son. What I did do, just so you know, I went into the court and I made it so he won't be allowed within a mile of this house. If he does try to come here, then they'll send him back to prison. The judge promised me that much. I say, maybe you should get a gun. Grim doesn't say anything for quite a while, and then he goes, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I can't tell your grandma about it, though. And it breaks my heart to lie to her. That's one thing we've never done. I won't tell. And let me just tell you that the best rule you could make in a relationship is just no lying. It's a simple rule. It's the rule of my relationships. All of my relationships. Friendships, lover, whatever. Don't lie. And I love that it breaks his heart. He feels like he has to lie to her, and he feels like he has to have a gun to protect from this guy. And so Max says, I won't tell. Grim is quiet again, and then he stands up from my bed in this real old tired voice. He says, everything is going to be okay, Max. I'll make sure of it. But for the next few days, I want you to stay in the house. Promise me you'll do that. Cross my heart, I say. Cross my heart and hope to die. So that's the title of the chapter, backing up, right? He didn't mean to kick you. Gosh. We know that was like a vault conversation, right? And that's a day in class where we would have vault conversations, meaning I would let kids have deep, open conversations about these kinds of topics, guns, gun violence, lots of, my county's the county that had the massacre. It's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. One of those students was in my 10th grade English class, Meadow Pollock. My high school buddy, Max Schachter, lost his son, Alex. There were so many wonderful souls that were lost that day that I've come to learn about. And, so this whole, this chapter, I haven't read this post Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. And, this would be a deep conversation to have with a bunch of middle schoolers and high school kids. And they need to have the conversation. You need to allow different opinions to be vocal because, of course, Grim and Graham are complete opposites on, having a gun in the house. Next, time tomorrow night at 9 p.m. we are going to read What Came Down the Chimney. Remember, it's the holidays, it's Christmas, and I'll just give you a little first two sentences. The Christmas Eve is real quiet. Like Freak says, you could hear a mouse fart. It's one of my favorite books. So we'll finish the book. We're more than halfway there, and then I'll start something new, maybe a poem. I've got some Maya Angelou that I want to share, and also just some fun stuff. Thank you for joining me. Yay, Roxy. I love this chapter too. Such a good chapter. The kids, this book takes me a while to finish because I don't like to rush the conversations because the conversations that this book brings out about name calling, shaming, bullying, gun violence, jail, neighborhoods, drugs, there's a lot of topics in here that are always topical if you teach teenagers. I've always had teenagers, so I've always known this book. And yeah, it's a good, because listen, the whole reason we teach literature, to me, the top of the list, the highest level of self-evolution and self-involvement is because literature teaches empathy. And we need more empathy in this world. We need to be able to see things through characters' eyes that we might not have seen had we not experienced it through their eyes, first person narration, right? We need to be able to experience things from an omniscient point of view where we are able to see all the characters' points of views and we know what everyone's thinking and feeling. It's a very powerful place to tell a story from, right? So for me, when I'm teaching literature in my classroom, it's I'm trying to get them to fall in love with the book, right? And enough so that every year I snap a picture. I've been in a classroom in 16 years, y'all, but I was in a high school classroom for 11. And for 11 years, I always snapped a picture because inevitably the kids who didn't like to read, didn't want to be in my class, didn't care, right? Or learning English, like they would not want to leave class because they wanted to see what happened next, but they weren't allowed to take the book with them. So it would be like they would just stand around while the other kids were coming in and sitting down. They would be like standing there to finish, like to keep reading. Like those kinds of moments happen with this book and all the books that I choose to do or read aloud with in my classroom. It's because I know they're engaging enough to keep the teenage mind active and involved the whole time. So thank you for joining me. I look forward to tomorrow night, and I will see you soon. Bye. Good night. Sweet dreams. You're so noisy tonight.